I was working a full-time day job, trying to come home and be a halfway decent wife. I was not doing well. And then trying to run my business on nights and weekends, sometimes not getting to bed till 3 in the morning and then having to get up again at 6 to get ready to be at work again at 8. This went on for months and months and months. And so finally I was so exhausted. I called my uncle, who was a businessman, retired, and he said, this is not sustainable, right?
Yeah, you bring up such a great point because, yeah, all the things my assistants do, could I do it? Yeah. Am I good at it? Yeah. But should I be doing it? Is it a good use of my time? No, hell to the no. It is not a good use of my time, even if I can do it really well. And I really struggle because I'm one of those like get it done myself kind of people. And so delegating for me is a skill that I've really had to work and develop of changing my thinking as far as like just like here's a task, let me get it done. No, let me slow down and let me think, how can I train my team to actually get this done? Hey, everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Happy Productive Podcast. You guys, I'm so excited for my guest today. Her name is Renee Hastings. Renee, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
I am so good. And I have to tell you, this conversation is so timely because this morning, of course, as many business owners, I woke up really early before the alarm went off, before the sun was up with like, oh my God, I have to like get this done and this done and this done and this done. And so when I saw you on my calendar today, I'm like, oh, this is a timely conversation. You guys are going to absolutely love this one today because it's all about delegation and getting the right help that you need in your business so that you are not trying to do everything yourself. Renee is, yeah, right. Renee is here with me today. She's absolutely brilliant. She is the president and CEO of Executive Help Now, a virtual assistant service agency. She has a degree in business management. She's been a Dale Carnegie leadership training coach. She's appeared on many multiple media outlets, you guys, y'all. She knows the deal here. So she's the right person to be talking to. Renee, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I am ecstatic to be here.
Yes. And Renee, I know a little bit of your story of like how you came into having this company and helping people with virtual assistants, but would you just share with everybody a little bit of your story?
Sure, I would love to. So it actually started way back when I was a little girl, and my mom encouraged me to become a part of this program called the Summer Youth Employment Program. And this was a program that the city put on to keep the kids off the street in the summer and give them some exposure to what it would be like to work in a real life work environment, as well as, help them identify some of the things that they might like or enjoy doing. It was during these summers that I was a part of this program that I discovered how much I loved organizing things and putting things in folders and sorting and streamlining things. And I was just a little kid, learning these different tools and techniques. So as I continued to nurture those interests, I just kept getting jobs doing those things that I was really good at. I started out, my career very young and started out, I call it a career. I was a receptionist. But I moved from there to being the clerical assistant, and then the administrative assistant, and then the executive assistant to a director, and then eventually an executive assistant to the C-suite for about 20 years. And these were in Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. And when you are supporting an executive on that level, there's so much that's required in terms of scheduling and streamlining and being able to anticipate your boss's needs and basically doing for them the things that they don't even know they need to have done. And so when you get really, really good at that, I just could do that with my eyes closed and hands tied behind my back because it's something I loved doing, being the confidant to senior level executives. So when I thought about starting a business after my kids left home and graduated from high school, it was just me in the house with all this passion and drive and desire and time. I had
Yeah.
all this time on my hands. So I was like, well, let me just start a business. And then I was thinking, well, what kind of business would I start? And someone said to me, which was some of the wisest words ever, if you're going to start a business, do what you know and do what you love. And so supporting executives is what I knew how to do. So I started a virtual assistance service, and it was just me supporting the clients in the very beginning. So while I was doing that, I still had my full time day job. And so when you're working a business in addition to a full time day job, they sometimes call it a side hustle.
Yeah.
And so eventually my side hustle, and I put that in air quotes for those that are listening to the podcast, because eventually my clients kept telling their friends about the service that they were receiving. And eventually I was putting in just as much time in my side hustle as I was in my day job. And I'm a wife.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how am I going to continue doing this? I was working a full time day job. I was, trying to come home and be a halfway decent wife. I was not doing well. And then trying to run my business on nights and weekends, sometimes not getting to bed till 3 in the morning and then having to get up again at 6 to get ready to be at work again at 8. This went on for months and months and months. And so finally, I was so exhausted. I called my uncle, who was a businessman, retired, and he said, this is not sustainable, right? You cannot keep going this way. If you don't get some balance, your body is going to shut down and you're going to be sat down whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my goodness. I said, well, I need some help. He said, you need to get an assistant. And I was like, yes, I do. And so, anyways, long story short, I ended up getting my own first virtual assistant to help me, to help lighten my load so that I could get some more sleep and try to, spend some more time with my husband and try to be a halfway decent wife, as
Yeah.
I'm still working this full time day job and running this business. And getting a virtual assistant was a game changer in my life. And because I know firsthand what it feels like to be an overwhelmed and exhausted entrepreneur, I can easily have conversations with other entrepreneurs
Yeah.
about this situation because virtual assistant changed my life and
Yeah.
improved my quality of life. And so I just absolutely love it. And that's my story, how we got started. The business has since then grown, and we now have a whole team of virtual assistants, all specializing in different areas that we use to help support clients and whatever it is that they need.
Oh, so great. So great. Okay, so I know there's some people listening right now who are like, yeah, Renee, I tried a virtual assistant and it didn't work out. And here's the thing, this was me too, like in the beginning when I went through several assistants who didn't work out. And you and I were talking before we clicked that record button about how the key is really about having the right assistant. And so if you're listening and you're just like, yeah, I tried it, it didn't work, I want you to just stop for a second and just listen. Renee, could you speak to what happens like when you have the wrong assistant versus when you actually get the right assistant in place? Like, what's that difference like?
Right. So one of the things that we come across is people who have had bad experiences. And what they've said is, well, it took me so long to show them how to do it. And then once I did finally show them, they still messed it up anyway. Or when they did it, the work I got back, it took me so long to edit it because it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I could have just done it myself to begin with
Mhm.
because it took me more time to fix it than to do it. Or some people are just reluctant to hand off things because they have their own fears of letting go and perfectionism and, just different sorts of things like that. When you have the wrong person, it can definitely put a sour taste in your mouth and you start to paint the whole industry with the same brush,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is understandable. I mean, we're human, but don't let that one experience taint you from getting a handle, allowing yourself to be taken care of by bringing on the right person.
Hmm.
When you hire an agency like ours, then we have already vetted the assistants on our team.
Hmm.
They've already been tested. for skills,
Mhm.
for their level of experience. They've been trained in the level of excellence and expertise and quality of work that we expect at Executive Help Now. And they have worked with me personally, so I can
Mhm.
vouch for them as people who I want to represent us
Yeah.
as they get assigned.
Yeah.
So it's important to find an agency that has already done the work, already has the quality people, so that you have a better chance of getting the right person to support you from the absolute beginning. Because we realize that this relationship is one that's not usually a one and done type project thing, but
Yeah.
it's an actual long term journey relationship.
Yeah.
And so we are there with you through it all, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, by your side, being there for you, helping you through it, helping you, being your, whether you need a cheerleader or you need, somebody boots on the ground, doing the things, to help coordinate from afar because we are remote. But so the difference between having a good assistant and having a bad assistant is
Mhm.
actually that fit. And so the time has to be taken to make sure that it is the right person. And when you identify someone who is a right fit, definitely hang on to them because it can sometimes be hard to find the right fit. But when you have an agency, you definitely shorten that time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's so very important that vetting process that as a busy business owner, we know we need the help, but we don't always have the time to go out and check the references and to do the skills testing because anybody can say, on a resume, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And they can show up in an interview and say, oh, yes, I know how to do this. But then when they actually have to do it, and they don't really know what they've said, like we find out the hard way. And now we've wasted so much time and effort. So I think it is so very important. And especially when you work with an agency like yours, that skills testing, that vetting has already been done. So you know that your assistant is actually representing themselves in a way. And it's like, yes, they actually have the skills that they say because for those of you who have gotten an assistant because somebody said you need an assistant and so you got an assistant and then you're like this person doesn't do anything right, this person is like taking up more of my time, like yeah, it's true when you don't have the right person. But don't give
Right.
up, like set your intention to just be like, all right, if I have to go through one or two, fine, I'm just gonna go through them until I find that right assistant. And then when you do, it is a game changer when you can just be like, hey, go do this, and they do it just as good, if not better, than you would have done. Like everything changes in your business because it's like, wait, all of a sudden now I can focus on the things that I really need to be focusing on. I now have three assistants and it didn't happen overnight, but now I'm up to three and I'm just like, if I need more help, I'm going to add another one.
Yes, that's right. And that's what you do. And one of the things that I love that you said is that, people can put anything on a resume.
Yeah.
And especially with this AI, that
Yeah.
people can put anything and they're like, oh, they sound so great.
Make it
But
sound wonderful. And
then, yeah,
AI says, all right, let me make you sound
yeah,
fantastic. Yep.
exactly. And then when the rubber meets the road, they're like, wait, what? And
Rutro.
so anyway, and so when we're going through our vetting process with our people who want to be a part of our team, they actually have, these skills assessments that they have to do, as well as scenarios that they need to put together and explain to me and presentations and the whole nine. And if I'm going through this process and there are, typos and poor grammar and bad graphics and all, they don't even make it to the team.
Yeah.
They just don't even make it.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited for you that you have three assistants and they each are, in their lane, doing their thing, operating in their zone of genius, in their expertise, that you've allowed them that opportunity to do what they love to do. And I'm sure some of those things you could probably do yourself and do them very well. But when you have someone else that you can delegate that to who loves it even more, like wakes up to do those things
Yeah.
that you don't always enjoy, it's just really a great partnership to be able to say, look, I know you love to do this. You're super good at this. Here, have at this.
Yeah, you bring up such a great point because, yeah, all the things my assistants do, could I do it? Yeah. Am I good at it? Yeah. But should I be doing it? Is it a good use of my time? No, hell to the no. It is not a good use of my time, even if I can do it really well. And I really struggle because I'm one of those like get it done myself kind of people. And so delegating for me is a skill that I've really had to work and develop of changing my thinking as far as like just like here's a task, oh, let me get it done. No, let me slow down and let me think, how can I train my team to actually get this done? So that's been a real skill I've had to work to develop, of just like developing them, not doing it myself. Yes, it takes a little more time in the beginning, but then you get all that time back. Like you get that time back tenfold over the long term.
And you get that time back to do the things that add value
Right.
to your business. So you have all this now freed up space in your brain, so you
Right.
can now focus on the future and strategy and building those relationships that you met in your networks and networking events and just different things that we meet people all the time. And that
Yeah.
takes time to nurture those relationships, and so when you've now got this newfound freed up time, you can actually focus on them and building your business and helping other people in that way.
Yeah, agree so completely. Okay, so I know some people right now maybe don't understand all of the different things that you can get an assistant to help you with. So would you mind just going into the little bit, tap into that, the iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg of the myriad of things that assistants can actually help you with these days.
There's so many things, so many things. So we have clients that are in so many different industries: public relations, real estate. They're even in corporate America as single parents who need personal assistance at their house because they're single moms or single parents and their children are active in different things. And so they need their bills paid and for the kids to get their haircuts. And so they need appointments and all the things. So all the things that an executive assistant in the office typically does, whether it is calendar management, email management, scheduling meetings, trying to get groups of busy people together and coordinating dates and times, doing the presentations, bookkeeping and expense reports, all of those things that an executive assistant in the office does, those are the things that can be done remotely by a virtual assistant. We also offer social media management and engagement. And so every business needs a social media presence, but not every business has the time to put into having an actual regular presence and to be able to engage with the people who engage with their content. So a virtual assistant can certainly help you with that. And we also offer podcast productions. What business wouldn't love a podcast? But yeah, it's a lot of work putting together a podcast, as I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
But when you have a team, a production team, people who can produce the shows for you, find you guests, find you opportunities to be on other people's stages, and put together all of the content, make it look great, make you look great, make you sound great, post all that content, repurpose the content. All of those things can be done by a virtual assistant. And we have people with those expertises on our team as well.
Oh, so amazing. Like, really, guys. So, podcasting. And I want to ask you about email, because email sometimes for me feels like the bane of my existence, of just like you answer five and 50 more come in. And so, can a virtual assistant really help with email inbox management? And what does that look like? Because I'm a little bit like, I don't know if I want somebody in my email inbox, especially with coaching clients and proprietary information. And so, like, if you are one of these people that your inbox is a little bit more like, oh, I don't really know if I want somebody in there, what are some ways that a VA can actually help you with inbox management?
Yes, absolutely. And we get that a lot where
Yeah.
people will hand off everything else, but they hang on to the email, which is, like you said, the bane of their existence. But with us, we definitely will sign confidentiality agreements or NDAs with our clients if that, provides them a level of comfort. All of my team members have NDAs with me at Executive Help Now, and confidentiality agreements are binding. And
Mhm.
so, and that is an expectation of everyone on the team, that they know that whatever information we become privy to, we're like Fort Knox. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
No one is getting that information. So we get in access to the inboxes, and then we're able to find out from the client, who are your important people? Who do you really want to hear from? What
Mhm.
topics or what things that come into this inbox do you really want to see or need to see? Who
Mhm.
are, and we create that list of the key people, who's the most important. All the other things that come in when we're going through and looking through all of the emails, we're now, our antennas are up for those key people. And if
Mhm.
something comes in, we're aware of what you're dealing with. Say you're getting ready to do have a meeting with a potential new client, and they're in a particular industry, and we may come across something in your inbox that may relate to that. That's something that we can then flag and say, hey, you might want to take a look at this. This might help you with this meeting that you're getting ready for, next
Mhm.
week or whatever. So we can be the set of eyes to vet and go through all of the email, most of which is usually junk, and then
Yeah.
flag those things that need your attention, or put them into folders, separate them out from the big main inbox into other folders that are prioritized in a particular way. There's so many different ways that we can manage that information, and different clients like it done differently, because sometimes they don't even want it in the inbox. They want it sent somewhere else, so
Mhm.
that all they have to do is check this one little space for all of the important things. And so we do that as well. So there's a lot of different methods to getting the job done.
Oh, that's so true because I find that I often just like sit there and delete, 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 go through all the garbage. So that way then I can get it down to, hey, these are the emails that are important that I really need to respond to. So having somebody help like clean that up can not honestly make email be so much more efficient.
Yes, absolutely, because you're not having to get through all the clutter, and there's so much clutter.
Oh, there is so
And
much
you can
clutter.
create rules too, that if a particular email comes in from a place, you can create a rule that says just send this to trash.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that doesn't even go into your inbox.
Oh, I love that so much. And I know a lot of the email providers these days are really cracking down. I'm seeing a lot more emails land in my spam and junk folder. And so it's almost like having to go through that as well more now because it's like, oh, I've seen like legitimate emails actually land in there.
Yeah,
So wonderful. But it's so great that you can have an assistant do that for you. All right, Renee,
for sure.
before we run out of time, because you clearly are the efficiency and the productivity expert, and that's what you and your team do. Are there any other like efficiency hacks that you can share with our audience today?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. One of the things that I really encourage executives to do is, especially busy people meet with busy people.
Yeah.
I encourage our clients to give up their calendars as soon as possible. I know that's a tough one. It can be super scary, but when you allow someone else to take over that very time consuming part of your life, you're freed up. That
Yeah.
frees up a whole lot of time. So calendar management and email management are our two most requested services.
Yeah.
They make the biggest difference in the quality of time, or the amount of time that an executive has available. So I would definitely encourage that. So that's a one productivity hack, I'll call it, in terms of what an executive can do to free themselves up immediately, like
Yeah.
immediately. And then beyond that, anything that's taking them too much time, things that are like expense reports or doing receipts and things like that, or, bookkeeping, delegate those things. Delegate, delegate, delegate. And then just get used to saying to yourself, it's okay for me to have help.
Mm,
It's okay.
yeah.
It's okay for someone else to do this.
Oh, I
I
love
think
that
that's
so
important.
much. That was one of the things that my assistant started doing. So as a business coach, I've got her now. I gave my calendar freely. I'm like, here you go. But I had to give right some parameters. Don't book me after 4 o'clock because after 4 o'clock, I am tired. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to anybody. And so she knows, not to book me during these times. And then we have times blocked out on the calendar when she knows not to book anything. And so I think it's really important to educate your VA on, the rules of the road when they do take over your calendar. But
For
now
sure.
what she'll do is she'll go behind me. So as I have a day, she'll go behind every client appointment and she'll make sure that their next appointment got scheduled. It's a simple
Mhm.
thing, but sometimes when you're back to back to back on coaching calls, I don't always have time to like schedule that next appointment. And so just having an assistant do something like that when you work with recurring clients over and over, just knowing that I don't have to worry about it. Somebody's going behind me to double check their next appointment got scheduled. If they're in a recurring time, great. If they're not, reaching out to the client to getting it on the books and then making sure it's entered in the system and on my calendar properly. Like that little thing has saved me so much time and aggravation. And then what I can do is now really focus on the client and give my full attention to the client and not have to worry so much about those logistics. So it
That's right.
really is a gift when you have the right assistant and you can train them up and they're just helping you. And gosh, like I was a one woman show when I first started my business years ago. Now I'm like, I could not run all this by myself anymore.
That's right, that's right, and as
No.
you scale, when you bring on an assistant, that's when you can scale. That's when you
Right.
can grow, because now you have all this time to bring on these new clients. But
That's
yeah,
right.
oh my goodness, an assistant is definitely a game changer, and one of the things I love about calendar management is learning our clients' preferences. You know,
Yeah.
some, like you said, don't book me after 4, some don't book me before 10, some
Yeah.
block all my lunches, make sure I eat. you
Yeah.
know all of those things are so critically important, and we're just so happy to do those things and take that off your plate. We love doing those things.
Oh, I love it. And when you have an assistant who loves what they do, it really does make it a game changer. Like they want to do things for you and they're like, hey, give it to me. And now it becomes this beautiful partnership. And together you can scale your business and you don't feel quite so alone in that journey because you really do have that help supporting you. It's really a beautiful thing.
It is, it's wonderful, we absolutely love it, and the way that we impact lives is so rewarding and refreshing and just gets us up every morning.
Yeah.
It's really such a great feeling.
I love it. All right, Renee. So, for those of us listening who are like, I gotta go hire me an assistant now, and yes, you do. Renee, where can they find you? Where can they find out information about your agency?
So we're on the web, of course, at executivehelpnow.org. And we are also on all the socials at Executive Help Now, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. If anyone wants to know if they're ready for a virtual assistant, some people might think, well, I don't know, maybe I am a solopreneur. How do I know if I'm ready? They can text a number I'll give to you, 1-866-943-3591, and get a freebie download of things to consider to let you know, yeah, you could be ready. It could be time. And our packages start at just 10 hours a month. So, certainly things to support every budget. And yeah, it works really well.
Wonderful. All right, guys, we're going to put all that information in the show notes as well so that you can go check out Renee and hopefully hire one of her amazing pre vetted, pre screened assistants that are going to be the real deal for you and your business. Now, I know if you're listening today, we talked about so many different things. Something resonated with you. There was a truth bomb in there somewhere. So I really want to encourage you to take action on it. It's one thing to listen and learn, it's another thing to take action. And that's how we get the results in our businesses. So pick anything from today, you guys, and take action on it. Renee, thank you so much for being here with me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. All right. That's it for today's show, y'all. Get out there and have a happy, productive day. Bye.